On this week's episode of Regular Guys Podcast, we talk all things NFL concerning injuries and the latest news. Plus, you'll get to see who we feel is our true contenders heading into the 2022 season. Make sure you like and subscribe. Now on to the show.
Listening to Regular Guys Podcast.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you don't got to go get the tissues out. I know I have. I've been crying since this morning. Regular Guys Podcast is back. RGP is the place to be. Yes, I am your host. You already know who I am. It's so good to see your lovely faces again. We got a little change to the show. I know it's been a while. You guys have been wondering, where's Regular Guys at? Where they been at? I need my daily fix. It's Wednesday. We are back and better than ever with a couple of new faces. Let's introduce the guys this time. We're going to start with Sean. Sean, tell the people what's up, man.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You guys are going to be in for a ride. This is going to be a fun time. Football season is about to hit, and, I'm going to add so much to the show. We're going to have a good time, guys. And so, get your popcorn ready. Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you already know, Jake Papi Chulo is here. Jake, tell the people what is good.
Oh my God. It is happening again, Matt. It is happening again. It's crazy. I was the one always saying, hey, can we go again? Can we go again? But hey, Sean brought it back up. We got a team now. We'll introduce a few people as we go along, but we're ready, man. I'm ready to kick this off. I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Again, if you guys want to get the tissues out, hey, we will more than welcome it. It's a new team, new show. Again, we're going to have some new stuff going on. We plan to be super active on Instagram with Reels and TikTok with our guy West, which you guys will meet, hopefully in a future episode. And again, we're just looking to interact, put some good content out. Again, super excited to be back. We love the support. On the road to 100 followers on Instagram page. We were already at 50 before we even hit record. So the fact that we are already halfway there just shows that you guys have been waiting for Regular Guys Podcast. And here we are back again. But hey, you don't want to hear me keep rambling on. You already know the deal. We're going to go through a little script to show you guys what we have in store for you. We're going to get into some news around the league. Hit you with some injury news, just so that way you're well aware and up to date. We know we got a couple fantasy drafts coming up within a couple weeks, so just important to stay up to date as far as injuries throughout camp. We're also going to hit you with some other news around the league, maybe not so injury related. And our main topic of discussion is going to be who we feel our true contenders heading into the NFL season are going to be. So as Sean mentioned, grab your popcorn. It's going to be a good one. Going into the injury front, this is something that just hit not that long ago. Giants' fifth, number 5 overall pick, Kayvon Thibodeau, just hurt his knee in preseason game against the Bengals and has been ruled out for the rest of the game. Now, Jake, I know you're a Giants fan, man. You got to tell me. Are you even the slightest worried right now as to this news?
We're looking at it as it's happening in real time. We don't have much information on it, but I'm hoping it's kind of like a Zach Wilson situation where it looks bad, but it ends up being something that quick surgery, quick recovery. I'm hoping that's what it is. I know Giants don't have a lot of expectations this year, but with a guy, we finally have a good pass rusher, or at least we think we do. And that's the Giants' mantra. That's what they're made for. That's their defense. They've always been a defensive first team. So you finally get that pass rusher that we've been needing since we lost OC, we lost Tucker. So we haven't had that guy. So to finally draft one, we're like, oh man, cool. We're finally getting that step, but we'll see. I'm hoping, with the information that comes in, it's not bad. But if it is, I'd rather it happen now than when we're ready to win and we need it, if that makes sense.
For sure. No, that makes sense. I mean, hey, you want to make sure that you're investment on, the franchise of a pass rush, like you mentioned. That's been their bread and butter. You can ask Pretty Boy Tom as to why he doesn't have more Super Bowl rings, and it was because of that pass rush, man. But speaking of Pretty Boy Tom, Sean, Pretty Boy Tom's offensive line is looking like they're going to have to go out there and get some scrubs. Another offensive lineman down. Bucks lose another one. Aaron Stinney out for the season after a torn ACL. Now, Sean, this comes after Ryan Jensen was already going to miss some time. Now, you lost Marpet due to retiring, but it doesn't stop there. Tristan Wirfs left practice not that long ago, a couple of days ago, with an oblique injury. Sean, you got to let me know, man. What are your thoughts on the Bucks and their offensive line injuries?
It's time to press the panic button. Hey, I mean, Brady came back. Jensen was his main guy. He could have signed a bigger deal somewhere else, and that was already a huge loss. You already know Wirfs. I mean, he's just a freak of nature, man. That might be only a week-to-week thing, hopefully. But Stinney now, I mean, Brady is 45, and he needs a line.
Get any younger.
He's not going to get any. He needs a line, man, and it's time to panic. Honestly, they went from one of the best teams to it could get ugly real quick.
Yeah, like I mentioned, man. Hey, Bucks. I'm not saying that you got to come get them. I got a little offensive line experience. I played, a little left tackle center in high school. I'm not that far from Tampa. Hit your boy up. I play for the league minimum. That's better than what I'm making right now. So that's all I got to say. Other injury news, Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari is being removed from the PUP list. Jake, are the Packers going to be legit now that he's back?
I mean, guess. I mean, if you want to add Bakhtiari in there, then sure, but I don't. We'll get into it later on throughout the show. What I think about the Packers. I still think it's a long shot. I still think you need more than just one guy. Granted, he's the greatest offensive lineman, but you definitely need more than just him. So I guess we'll see. It's better, but as we progress, you'll see what I mean, what I think about the Packers.
For sure. Just some other injury stuff to kind of rattle off here. Panthers rookie quarterback Matt Corral is out for the season after having his foot stepped on. He left that game against the Patriots, I believe, after having his foot stepped on. It is now ruled that he is going to be out for the season. Eagles running back Miles Sanders should be ready for week 1 as he continues to recover from a soreness-type hamstring. Obviously, as a running back, that's super important to get him ready. James Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars to be ready for their home opener amid recovering from a torn Achilles. And Ken Walker, the Seahawks rookie running back, is expected to make a full recovery from his hernia surgery that he had. They are trying to say that he looks to play week 1, but they are not also trying to rush it, especially with having a guy Penny there. But we got some other news on Kayvon. Jake, what you got for us?
So right now I'm looking at Bleacher Report, and they say optimism of Kayvon injury is that he avoided a major injury. He's been seen walking around on the sidelines. Tom Pelissero announced. So with that, him walking around, you wouldn't have your top 5 pick walking around on the sidelines if it was a major injury. So that's good news. Hopefully it's nothing serious. I know everybody was a little worried because he got carted off, but he's walking around. So sure. Hopefully that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's big.
For sure. That's going to conclude for our injury front. Again, we'll look to keep you guys up to date each and every week as we record. Also, again, through our Instagram page, follow us, Regular Guys Podcast, to stay up to date. And just in other news around the league, we mentioned Pretty Boy Tom. Tom Brady is expected back at camp after stepping away for personal reasons. Personal reasons we may not know. Sean may know. Him and Pretty Boy Tom pretty close.
We're
Sean, is
pretty
this
close.
pretty, is this some good news for the
I
Bucks?
mean, it is good news. The rumor is he's been a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, so keep an eye on that.
Wow,
No,
man, the hips don't lie
it's a
with Pretty
joke
Boy
coming
Tom.
around. It's a joke coming around, but I'm sure it's for Tom to take time off. I'm sure it's something major. So I mean, definitely you get Tom back. I mean, it's going to be a big boost. His leadership alone is telling.
Oh, okay. Now look, I just got a little question. How would the Brady haters feel? Now, let's say that was true. Let's say it's because he was doing a couple episodes of Dancing with the Stars. I doubt it. Obviously, it's a joke. How would the Brady haters feel to know that the greatest quarterback of all time is stepped away from preseason, games? Granted, he wasn't going to play, but camp in itself, to know that he was trying to get his Shakira on, Sean?
I mean, it would hurt him. And actually, I got it mixed up. It was a Masked Singer and not Dancing with the Stars. That was the rumor. It's been all over the internet.
Gotcha.
So I hope it's not true, just for the sake of, because Tom Brady, his leadership has always been the biggest thing that surrounds him. Like the players, from the best player on your team to the last best, the least best player on your team. That Tom Brady always has a relationship with those guys, and for him to do something like that would be insane. But I don't believe it. But cross my fingers on that one.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll look. Obviously, the Bucks again are excited to get him back. I don't know how excited he is, especially with a makeshift offensive line that's going to be protecting him going into Week 1. So we'll see. We'll see. In other news, rookie Romeo Doubs, receiver out of the Packers, is turning some heads, gentlemen. Now, before I ask my question, I'm going to just kind of riddle off some stats. Week 1 against the Niners, 7 targets, 3 receptions for 45 yards and a touchdown. All right. Now, week 2 against the Saints, 5 targets, 3 receptions for 24 yards and a touchdown. Sean, are we buying stock in the rookie that he could be potentially the face of the Packers receiving corps?
We got to hold our horses on this one, guys. Not many starters are playing right now. Let's give it some time. He does have Rodgers as his quarterback, so he could probably, definitely do some good things with them. But right now, I would hold our horses and just wait and see when he starts playing against the starters and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to agree there with you. The target share, I will say, is something that I will buy. Just a little bit. 7 targets the first game, 5 targets the second game. That's pretty big for a rookie who was drafted, I believe, a fourth or fifth round out of Nevada, mind you. The competition there is not that great that they're facing. So I will buy the target share. I'm not going to buy it because of the receptions. Now, again, as you mentioned, it's preseason. I think Jordan Love has tossed him both his touchdowns. They got a little, Nevada connection going on there.
Yeah.
But the yards is not something crazy. Had he had 3 receptions for like maybe 75 or 100 both times, I definitely, we might want to look to, draft this guy in fantasy drafts towards the back end of the draft. But
Agreed.
Jake, you got any guys that you want to maybe spotlight that are turning heads for you, in your opinion, for preseason so far?
Yeah, so one guy that I'm bringing up is George Pickens, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was drafted in the second round, pick 52. So the Steelers have been great when it comes to drafting wide receivers. And there's never been a guy in the top 5, top 10, mainly because the Steelers have always been good. They've never had a pick that low in the draft or that high in the draft. So for them to always consistently grab a guy and he always ends up being a stud. You look at AB, Hines Ward, Santonio Holmes. None of these guys were top 10 wide receivers. They were all back end guys that who knows what's going to happen. If they stay on the team, then it was a good draft pick. It's kind of one of those things. So when you see a guy like George Pickett, 6'3", big body, but also fast, who's competing with him? I mean, yeah, you have Deontay Johnson, who's not going to lose his touches, obviously, but you need that wide receiver too. Claypool's been falling off a little bit, so I wouldn't be shocked if you see Pickens, that wide receiver too, maybe towards the end of the year, be that 1B to Deontay Johnson's 1A.
Yeah, it's not a bad take. And his nickname for all you guys listening, NFL Youngboy. All right. So just look out for him, NFL Youngboy, George Pickens. He's turning some heads. Although I'm not a big fan of him because he's coming out of Georgia. I'm a Gators fan, as Sean is also.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's trash. But hey, you do his thing in the preseason. We got to give him credit. Yeah. What about you, Sean? Anybody turning heads for you?
Yes, actually, let me tell you guys, America's team. Okay, we're back on the map. I'm telling you right now, special teams. We got Prime Time Junior, baby. We got Turpin, dude.
No.
He ran back a 98-yard touchdown off a kickoff and a punt return for 86 yards off a kickoff return. He was a beast. He was an MVP in the USFL. I know that doesn't say much, but he's always been the guy that people look past. But I think he could actually do some damage on a serious note for the special teams of Dallas. You know, I mean, I know that's not like, you know, it's part of the three.
It's not necessarily wow. Yeah. But I get you. I get what you're saying. It's important.
I mean, look what Hector did, you know?
Yeah, I get you. I don't know if Dion would appreciate you calling him Primetime Junior, though. That man is, you know,
they
one in a million. But I get it, though.
Turpentine, baby.
I got it. But yeah, other than that, guys, that is going to conclude for our other news. But again, regulars, this is what you have been waiting for, our main topic discussion. Who's our true contenders for this season? Now, before we get into who we feel are our true contenders for the season, make sure you guys let us know down in the comments on the YouTube channel. Who do you feel are true contenders? If you agree with us also too, hey, let us know. If you don't agree, also let us know. We would gladly appreciate it. And again, we're going to make sure we read all the comments when you guys do comment. But enough of me talking. Let's get into it. We're going to let Jake go first. Jake, let the people know who you feel is your true contender. And we'll say who you feel is really going to win the Super Bowl for this year.
All right, so I have a legit contender, and then I also have a sleeper contender. So when that wouldn't surprise me if we end up seeing them either in the championship game or possibly playing that game in February. So my legit contender would be the Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like the additions they've made have really notched them up to that top tier. You add J.C. Jackson, which is an incredible lockdown corner who's also a ball hawk. Not only is he just getting the picks, but he's also going to lock your guy down. He's not a Trayvon Diggs that'll get burnt 4 times in a game, but then also get 2 picks. So you have a guy. I had to throw that shot.
Okay.
But a guy like J.C. Jackson will lock your receiver down, but he'll also get those picks when he's tested. So you have that on side of Asante Samuel Jr. Those 2 corners right there will take care of a lot of the weapons in the AFC West. You got Khalil Mack. People think he's done. But when you're on a Bears team that's bad, it's really hard to be motivated to play really hard, especially when there's nothing to play for. You don't have much time left on your career, so why are you going to give your entire energy to a team that is basically out there trying to lose games? So I could see that, and then just Khalil Mack on side of Joey Bosa. You can't tell me offensive linemen are not scared of that. Okay. And then you got a nice veteran in Van Noy for the linebackers. That's somebody that's going to help that young linebacker group. help them set their feet right, be ready for the offense, be able to call any kind of plays that they need to. So to have a veteran like that who can also still play, that's just going to bring the defense up tremendously. And you already know their offensive weapons. So I just feel like this year they might lose. I have them, splitting with Kansas City in the regular season, but I do think that they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they win it because the NFC teams that I like, I will say they're more experienced, and I think they can go ahead and take it. But I wouldn't be shocked if they're in the Super Bowl. And then just real quick, my sleeper contender, the Minnesota Vikings. Their new head coach is the offensive coordinator from the Rams. He's coming now with an offensive mind. Justin Jefferson, I'm telling you right now, if he replicates a Cooper Kupp season like last year, don't be shocked. And then his second receiver is Adam Thielen, who apparently is turning out to be the Adam Thielen of 2018 from all the reports that we're seeing. You got Dalvin Cook. You got Irv Smith, who's healthy now. Yeah, that offense right there is, I'm telling you, don't be shocked if we're going to be in the postseason, but don't be shocked if they're in that championship game or playing in February.
All right, now, although I'm going to agree with you, I personally feel the Chargers win that division. But I have a question. Are you the least concerned that this is a team in the Chargers that just hasn't been able to get it done, finish games? I mean, let's not forget, people, this is the same Chargers team that was hoping for a tie last year against the Raiders. Do you feel this is also a team who was injury riddled a lot? Do you feel that, okay, this is going to be put aside from them and this is why you have them as your main? Because I'll say, me personally, I had to look at that, and I do feel that they finally get over that hump. I do think Mac and Bosa they should help each other stay healthy, hopefully. Obviously, injuries, you can't really predict it. I love the J.C. Jackson addition. They continue to add to the offensive line with the guard they drafted out of Boston College for, Herbert. But do you feel that they are finally ready to jump over the injuries, jump over not being able to finish games late to finally make it to the big dance?
So injuries are tough to say, yes, they're not going to have them. They're going to be able to avoid them. Sometimes you can just have freak accidents. Look at Barkley. Last year, he was completely out because someone stepped on his foot. So it's like stuff like that can really you can't control that. That has nothing to do with your diet, doing what you have to do in the weight room. That has nothing to do with that. You could have freak accidents. So as far as injuries, obviously, if they stay healthy, then yes. But I will answer you about the decision making. This is a time where we decide if Staley is the guy or not. You have the team in front of you. If Staley can't make the decisions as a head coach that you need to win games, I wouldn't be shocked if the organization says, you're not the guy, it's time to go. Because the team is ready to win. It has nothing to do with the team. Herbert's a quarterback that's going to follow what the coach says. You can tell he's not going to be a guy that's going to go against what the coach has. He's not there yet also in his career. He's not a Peyton Manning that can just ignore what the play calls are and then just do what he does. He's not there yet, but he has the talent to win you games. So if this coaching staff does not make the right calls, doesn't call the right plays, then I wouldn't be shocked if Staley's gone. But it all depends on them. Hopefully they've learned from their mistakes because Staley's also new to the head coaching job. So if he makes the right decisions, then yes, I see that happening. So I think this falls on this coaching staff, really.
Now, Sean, I saw your face. I think I saw the face, glean a little bit when he mentioned more so about Minnesota. But do you have any, questions or maybe a little bit of a pushback as to Jake's take on the Chargers going all the way?
I actually, I like his pick, honestly. It's hard to argue with the talent. They're very talented. my only pushback is that division, man. The West is insane. I just think they're going to all beat each other up. I really do. And I'll be honest with you, in that division, I just can't. I want to agree with you, Kick, but I just can't overlook Mahomes quite yet. I just can't. I want to. I really like Herbert. I really like the Chargers squad. I just feel like some way, somehow, Andy Reid and Mahomes and the offense gets it done. I hope I'm wrong, but in my heart, you know, that's my only pushback. I just think that division is going to be really tough and they're going to beat each other up, you know, so that's my only pushback on that.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with that. I would say, you know, I don't want to get too off topic, but the only reason why I don't have the Patriots, the Chiefs winning the division, I don't think it's mainly because of the offense. I will say I'm buying a little bit the snippets that I'm hearing out of camp with the receivers they have, Juju, MVS, Sky Moore. I mean, McCole Hardman's been there for 3-4 years at this point. So you got to hope at some point it clicks. And obviously they have the old faithful, Mr. Reliable, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that Mahomes, Andy Reid will get it together. And, you know, Mahomes, being a great quarterback that he is, will make sure that on the offensive side, they're good. I'm not confident in the Chiefs defensively. And that's where, and I think Jake would agree also too. The Honey Badger was there. Now, don't get me wrong. The guy they signed from the Texans, Reed,
Justin Reed,
young safety, good safety. Yeah, good safety. Don't get me wrong, he's good. But man, the Honey Badger was literally just around the ball a lot. Tre'Davious Ward, although he wasn't the best, is now over in the Bay with the Niners. And yeah, they drafted a corner out of Washington who I like, McDuffie, but it is also a rookie corner. I mean, I can't just sit here and say he's going to come in and lock down. We're still waiting for Jeff Okudah to lock down, and he's going into year 3. I understand he got hurt last year. Don't beat me up too much, Detroit fans. But it's the defense. I look over at the Chargers. I know what I'm going to get. You could have Bosa and Mac potentially both have 15 sacks apiece. J.C. Jackson is going to follow your number one guy. And you got Mr., you know, highest paid safety in the world, Derwin James, back there. So that's just all I gotta say. Again, I probably went too long on that, but
no, you're good. I understand though. I completely understand where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, but obviously Chargers fans, if there are any left, no, you know, not trying to poke fun at you at all. They want to hear that. They want to hear the fact that Jake's got them going to the Super Bowl, winning it all. Now, Jake, before we move on to Sean, I think he might have said it already. I think you said honorable mention. But if you have the Chargers winning it all, who is going to meet them out of the NFC and lose to them?
Ooh. So NFC, to be honest, originally before all these injuries happened, I had Bucks possibly over the Rams, but who knows what's going to happen with all the O-line injuries. Out of the NFC, I take the Rams, to be honest, and I don't think it's really that much of a fight in the NFC. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams kind of blow through the NFC, because who's gonna stop them, especially in their division? They got their division locked down. It's theirs to lose, basically. If they lose, it's because they got hit with a ton of injuries, or something crazy is happening in San Francisco that Trey Lance ends up being the guy. That's really the only team in that division that could kind of give them a run for their money. Maybe the Cardinals, but we have to see what happens with Murray. He struggled really bad in that playoff game. So you're hoping he can bounce back from that? Yeah, no Hopkins the first 6 games.
First 6 games.
And Hopkins was not good last year. He went down tremendously. Like that, you want to talk about old man regression? That was an old man regression. So out of the NFC, I think it's Rams, and it's not a competition. So we'll see what happens if everything stays healthy with the Bucks. Maybe them, but yeah, that's what I think in the NFC.
Gotcha. I got you. All righty then. Well, hey, again, Jake stated his case as to why he feels the Chargers are going to go all the way and why he feels they are his true contender. So again, let us know down in the comments if you agree with him. Yes or no. Hey, we want to hear what you guys have to say at all times. But now we're going to go to Sean. Sean, you now have the floor to let us know why Jake is wrong and why you feel your team, whoever it is that you are going to choose, is a true contender for this upcoming season.
So if you asked me a couple weeks ago, I would have said the Bucks. Just like Jake kind of said in the NFC. I just felt like they got Julio Jones. I feel like their defense is a little bit older, another year under the belt. But that was a few weeks ago until these injuries. So I'm actually a big believer in the Bills this year. I really am. I think Josh Allen, each year he progresses. I mean, I know last year and the year before they were kind of similar years. He had 300 or 400 more rushing yards last year. But he's such a dual threat. I love Josh Allen. They had the #1 defense last year, and they actually added Von Miller to that. I think their defense, I know they didn't look too good in the playoffs against the Chiefs, but I just think another year under their belt as well. They're going to be a very good, top 5 defense again. I think their offense is I'm going to say a top 3 offense, honestly. I just think Josh Allen, I know they lost Beasley, but they did pick up Jake's guy, Crowder, and he was pretty good for the Jets. I mean, so he's a nice slot receiver pickup, and they got Diggs. I just feel like it's Josh Allen's year. I really do. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And they also pick up the offensive lineman. I think it was Stoffald. I forget his name, but he was in the Pro Bowl last year. So I mean another Pro Bowl offensive lineman is to help Josh Allen. I'm just a believer in Josh Allen, and I think he's the best dual threat quarterback right now in football. And he's 26 years old, and he's getting better and better each year. And I'm just a believer in him. So that is my Super Bowl winner I'm going with this year.
Now, regulars, for you guys that are listening, I feel like you're going to see there are different tiers in our contenders for each of us. I feel like Sean maybe went with the obvious. Yeah. I mean, would any of us really be shocked if the Bills made it to the Super Bowl and won it all? Yeah. I don't think so. I think we can all agree here that the Bills are very legit, even probably more legit with, like you mentioned, with the additions they added through free agency and the draft. Jake probably went for the one where they're ready to finally take that hump. And I'm going to, leave mine for afterwards. But mine is more of a sleeper type pick. But Sean, I do have a question.
All right.
Just like I had a question for Jake. Although, again, I would not be shocked at all if the Bills made it.
Okay.
Do you think they can finally get over the hump of the Chiefs?
I do. I know the Mahomes factor. He's a beast, but I feel like kind of like your argument last segment. The defense, I think, hopefully the Bills would be able to get at least one stop in the playoffs next time. I just, like I said, I just feel like
all they need.
The Bills. Yeah, I feel this is their year. I do, to answer your question and not run around it. I do think, they're going to get the Chiefs this year for sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If we could get every time the Bills and Chiefs, matched up,
yeah,
that game that they had, please sign me up. Arguably insane. The best playoff game, as far as recent memory, the shootout. It is so unfortunate that it came down to a coin toss.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they changed the rules because
Yeah.
Josh Allen and the Bills should have definitely had a chance to answer back.
Opportunity. Yeah.
Now I have another question. Last question, and I'll let you know, see if Jake's
Answer.
got any have any pushback or if he agrees. Von Miller, he's not going to be playing next to Aaron Donald. Now, I'm not saying, Von Miller or that Aaron Donald is the main legit reason why Von Miller had all these sacks. But when you have arguably the best non-quarterback player in the league commanding double team, triple team, heck, quadruple team,
Yeah.
it is a little easier to get some sacks. And he is, up there in age. I was not a fan of his contract. I was a fan of him going to the Bills because they need a legit pass rush guy.
Yeah.
But do you think that he will be able to command a respectable sack amount for this season?
I do. I think it's everybody's got to play their role. As long as the Bills, their defense, because they got a very solid defense, they really do. If everybody plays their role, I feel like Von Miller would definitely. I'm not saying he's going to come out here and be Nick Bosa or something. But I feel like I think he can get 10 sacks this year. I mean, I know that's not a lot, but 10 to 12 sacks. I mean, that would be
at his age. That would be a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. But I do feel, he could possibly get about 10 sacks. I think everybody just got to play their roles, on the defensive end. And he will make some noise, I think. I don't think it's going to be, like I said, Aaron Donald noise, but I feel like,
for sure,
he's going to help him a little bit.
Yeah, I can respect that. Jake, you got any pushback to add to that?
Just so I can be that guy, yes, I do have some pushback. But I'll be honest. First of all, I do think the Bills have probably one of the better chances to not only make it to the Super Bowl, but also win it. I don't think, to be honest, the Chiefs are going to be that much of a juggernaut this year.
Yeah.
They have a lot more questions than they do answers.
Gotcha.
Mahomes is great, yes. But we've also seen when there's a lot of questions what happens to Mahomes. Last year, he had some question marks, and he wasn't the best quarterback in the first half of the year. In the Super Bowl, they had a spotty O-line. He was thrown from the plank position, and things still weren't happening. So we've seen Mahomes where things don't work out, what happens. So it's not like he's going to win every single game. They're always going to be there. We've seen when he's had some struggles. But to get back to the Bills, the only thing that gets me, Von Miller is probably their best pass rusher on the team, correct?
Yeah.
Double team Von Miller. Who are you scared on about that pass rush? Who scares you? Ed Oliver, we've been waiting to break out for I don't know how long. Feels like he's been in the league for 10 seasons. We're still waiting for him to break out. Gregory Rousseau, you're hoping he ends up being something like he was in Miami. He doesn't look like it. We're hoping. Yeah. And behind Tre'Davious White, what corner are you scared of to shut your wide receiver down?
Okay, I got to push back a little bit. Kyer Elam. Yes, it's some Florida Gator bias here. Sean, please join me there with that. Kyer Elam is legit, and especially in the scheme that they run of, they're going to play a lot of man, and he is very well equipped. Again, I will take my bias away from that because it is the NFL. Everyone's stronger and faster and quicker. They know your tendencies. It's a lot on a rookie cornerback. So he could struggle, as most rookie corners do struggle. But I do think he's just a tad bit more prepared, just like Stingley, I feel, is more prepared because they played in the SEC. They've gone up against the Jerry Judys, the Michis, the Jameson Williams, just to name the Justin Jeffersons. So it is a little bit better. But I will agree with you on the defensive end part. That is a lot of pressure on a guy who is, 33, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
And he got a 5-year deal.
Yes, we are still waiting for Ed Oliver to show up to the league. Gregory Rousseau, I think he was late first, early second round.
Yeah.
Yes, he was really nice at the University of Miami. Can he be that nice again? Again, if he could get 10 sacks on one side and Vaughn get 10, that's all you really need. We're not
Oh yeah,
saying,
for sure.
although the Bills would take it, hey, Gregory, go get 20 sacks. Yes, they would obviously love it, but he didn't really play much last year. So, and I think they got Carlos Basham, also two defensemen out of Wake Forest. So we'll see. The defensive line, I feel, if they are going to really put their stamp of we are going to win it all, has to step up. But it can't be stepping up from Vaughn. It's got to be stepping up from the others.
Gotcha.
So,
and the corner that you mentioned, all right, he was good in college, but we're in the NFL now. Things change.
No, yeah, for sure.
He has to go up against either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle twice a year.
Yeah.
Granted, we don't know what's going to happen with Tua if he can even get them the ball. We have to see this year. But those two guys can kill a defense. We've seen Tyreek Hill do it against amazing corners. And we know Trey White's going to handle Tyreek, but who's going to handle Waddle? Yeah. That's serious right there. So he was great in college. If it can happen in the NFL, then the Bills are set, especially for the future. You want a guy like that to be great. So hopefully it works.
We'll see. You got anything else to add to that, Sean?
No, I was just going to say on that point, at least at the cornerback position, that's like a wide receiver position. You're kind of NFL ready if you're a top corner. So, I mean, I'm sure he's going to have some growing pains, but at least he can get in there and make a difference right away, so.
I'll just add real quick to that. Because you already have a great secondary, it's not like Derek Stingley where name me another Texan corner. Wait. Exactly. We don't know any. So the fact that you have Tre'Davious White, hey, Rook, just take care of the number 2. I'm going to follow number 1 the entire time unless I get hurt. Hey, Rook, you get beat over top, don't worry, we got great safeties. Although they're getting a little bit up there in their age, Hyde and Porter. Yeah, but it's still nice. It is a great situation for him to go into. But I will agree with you, Jake. I don't want to make it seem like although he's a Gator boy, he can struggle. Again, Jeff Okudah was promising coming out of Ohio State. Now, granted, he was having a solid year before the injury, but boy, that rookie season was absolute brutal. It was not fair to him. He had to go up against Devontae Adams, who is arguably still the best receiver in the league right now, twice a year, let alone the first game of the season, and was absolutely getting cooked. But we'll see. We'll see.
I will agree, though, that offense is probably going to help that rookie corner and that defense a lot.
For sure.
Jamison Crowder has not had a quarterback like Josh Allen in his entire career.
Yeah.
And he has always been a producer at the slot position. Yeah. Do not be, concerned don't be surprised if he ends up being the number 2 wide receiver just because of how much production he gets from the slot.
Yeah. I mean, again, they like Sean was mentioning Diggs. Gabriel Davis is looking to have a big year. You had Crowder in the slot. You have Knox at tight end. The running backs looks like they're kind of looking to form a 3-headed monster.
Yeah.
Back there with Moss,
Singletary,
and Cook. Yeah. So.
And Allen.
We all know that what Josh Allen is capable of. And again, regulars, let us know if you agree with Sean down in the comments. I'm going to say, I don't think it'll be shocking if they make it, to be honest.
For sure.
It would be more shocking if they didn't, because we all feel they are primed to finally make that leap over the Chiefs. So we'll see. Season's 2 weeks away. We're going to open up with the bang. It's the Rams versus the Bills. There's no better way to open up the season than that firework of a show right there.
Yes, sir.
Your boy Elam got a test with Allen Robinson week 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a show, man. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, it is now my turn. Now look, before I start this, all right, I'm just gonna say it. Sean's been giving me pushback from the moment I told him who I was going with. So I expect the same pushback is gonna be there. I welcome it. For those of you who are listening, you will know I'm not going to flex my bias on my team. Okay. It's just not necessary. Now you're saying, wait a minute, Matt, you just said Kyer Elam, Gator cornerback. You like him a lot, blah, blah. Yes, I understand what I said, but I didn't say he was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. So please bear with me about who I'm going to tell you is going to shock the world and win the Super Bowl. Last year, when the season started, could anybody really tell me they saw the Bengals going to the Super Bowl? No, right? Jamar Chase couldn't catch a football. I mean, this was the same team that Joe Burrow tore his ACL the year before. They won like 3-4 games. They had another top 3 pick. So the thing is, nobody saw it happening. I'm going to tell you why. The Indianapolis Colts. Yes, I said it as I sit here wearing my Indianapolis Colts jersey. Sean, pick your head up. I see you over there. Why they are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Let's get started, shall we? The Indianapolis Colts traded away Carson Wentz for Matt Ryan. I get it. Matt Ryan's old, you say. Carson Wentz was actually also bad. All right. How bad? On target throws from a clean pocket. Now we're going to talk about accuracy. On target throws from a clean pocket. Matt Ryan ranked 9th. Carson Wentz, 30th. On target throws on non-screens. Matty Ice, 7th. Carson Wentz, 31st. On target throws under pressure. We all know the Falcons had a horrible offensive line. And we all know the Colts, I'm not going to say have the best, but it's definitely top 10, whether it's at number 8 or, number 10. On target throws under pressure, Matty Ice, 3rd. Carson Wentz, 26th. Now you say, wait, Matty Ice is the next thing of Drew Brees ending his career, noodle arm, can't throw it deep at all. Wrong. On target throws deep, 15+ air yards. Matty Ice, 5th. Carson Wentz, 16th. I'm not saying Matt Ryan is going to return to MVP form. The Colts simply don't need him to be MVP Matt Ryan. Obviously, again, we'll take it, but we don't need him to. Frank Reich's offense predicated off of just being accurate. Look what we did with Phillip Rivers. Made it to the playoffs. Guy was 39 years old. Matt Ryan is going to be Phillip Rivers 2.0. And that's okay. That's all we need. Other additions. We traded for a still young Yannick Ngakoue, who for some reason goes under the radar. I'm not saying that he's the best defensive end, but the guy is averaging 10 sacks a year. That's, pretty consistent. I mean, the year that he got traded from Jacksonville, I think he then went to the Ravens, or no, he went to the Vikings, and then he went to the Ravens. He still had 10 sacks playing on 3 different teams. Last year, playing again, opposite of Max Crosby, 10 sacks. This year, playing with a guy like DeForest Buckner, a guy like Kwity Paye, who we're, all hoping makes a huge jump. I don't see why 10 sacks is not doable. Oh, and then we went out and signed Stephon Gilmore. I get it, 32 years old, but Stephon won't be playing man. It's more of a zone, which I think is best for aging corners. Obviously, he was a former defensive player of the year with the Patriots, won a Super Bowl. He's known for locking down in that role. But again, this defense last year ranked 10. Ranked top 10. Now, I was at 10, but we've literally been at in the top 10 for the last 3 years. Defense was also second in the league in 33 total turnovers. I don't see how that doesn't improve this year. Now, I will agree with you listening, and as you know, my guys here will also agree with me. It is a very weak division. There is nobody giving us a run. But that is also why I feel they have a shot to go all the way. It's the sixth easiest schedule. Sean mentioned it. The AFC West is literally going to be killing themselves this year because there's just so much talent. The AFC West could potentially have all their teams with a winning record, and two of them are going to miss it. But that's just because of how simple, how great the AFC is just stacked. Top 10 offensive line. I'm going to say top 3 running game. I'll say it's number 3. I'll give my respects to the Titans, obviously King Henry. Number 2, I'm going to go with the Browns running game. Nick Chubb is just on a different level, obviously with Kareem Hunt as well. Again, Jonathan Taylor. Awesome. Hey. Now, the Bills should definitely run away with their division. I don't really see, anything happening there unless Tua just says, hey, I told you all I needed was some weapons. I just needed, some time. But we'll see. Again, we mentioned that the AFC West is going to kill each other. And although we do play that division this year, realistically, I don't see how we can't win at least 2. Against the Chiefs, I think we could easily win that. No, I'm not going to say easy. I think we could win that. Against the Raiders, I think we could win that. Now, against the Broncos in Mile High, probably lose that. Although I'm going to be at this game, Monday night game against the Chargers, I could see us losing that. I personally don't hope so. I'm going to be at the game for crying out loud. But hey, you never know. Now, again, I'm running out of breath here. You're saying, Matt, you're rambling too much. You're literally giving me every little spiel in the book as to why you feel if you got to do this, then they are not a true contender. I get it, but this is why I have to, because a lot of you will look at the Indianapolis Colts and you will say, there's no way they can go all the way. Yeah, win their division, but that's because it's a bad division. And I would agree with you. I'm just saying the Indianapolis Colts have been quietly building something, and they are slipping under the radar just as the Bengals did last year. And it would not shock me at all if they got to the Super Bowl and won it. Sean,
yeah,
I know you've been biting at the bit to give me your pushback. So please, my good sir, take it away.
All right. I don't want to be the bad guy here, okay? I don't hate the Colts. I think they actually do got a solid team. But I think they will have a good year, but I think people are going to be blinded because you brought it up. They got the 6th easiest schedule. So they might come out with 11, 12 wins. I'm thinking. I'm not sure what you think, but I looked at their schedule. I'm thinking they might get 11, 12 wins. But I'll be honest with you, man.
I'm at 12 and 5.
Yeah,
12 and 5, 11 and 6.
About,
so yeah, I agree.
I'm in the same boat, and I feel like people are going to jump on that because I think they actually have a chance to actually, I think it's going to be between them and the Bills that actually win the AFC for the number 1 seed. But Matt Ryan, I hear the stats. Stats are great. When you look at you're like, oh, that's great. But it's also, the first 3 drives of the game, he goes 3 and out. The other team's up 21 points, and then now he's throwing the ball over the field, and his stats look great. I'm not a Matt Ryan guy. 5 years ago, yeah, Matt Ryan. Do I think he's an upgrade from Carson Wentz? 100% I do. I really do.
Although it's not saying much. I mean, shoot, we could all be an upgrade.
I know, yeah. That is 100% true. I feel like they might get 1 playoff win, but at the end of the day, I feel like, it's not defense that wins championships anymore. It's really, I feel like it kind of over the years turned into a quarterback league. I mean, I feel like we can all kind of agree with that. And I just think Matt Ryan, he's not terrible. He's not bad. I feel like he's at this time, at his his age now, I feel like he's still got a decent amount of football left, but I feel like he's a middle of the pack kind of quarterback. So I really, I think they're gonna have a good year, but I just don't see Matt Ryan getting them over the hump. That's that's how I feel about it. I don't see him beating the big quarter. Yeah, I don't see him beating the big quarterbacks. And I know it's not him versus Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they both got great teams around them. Who would I rather have? There's a couple quarterbacks I'd rather have with their teams.
Yeah. And before I let you go, I'd agree with you there. The only reason why, again, I do put stock into this. Again, for those of you who are listening, I've never been that type every single year. Colts are going to make it to the Super Bowl. This is it. It's literally been I need to see this first before I can drink the Kool-Aid. I need to see this first. I mean, again, we were talking about it a couple of days ago. It was like week 14, and I still was not sold on us making the playoffs. And I was right. We lost to the Raiders, and then we go and lose to the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars, for crying out loud. But the Bills, we literally went into Buffalo. You could have put Curtis Painter back there, for crying out loud. We all know how bad Curtis Painter was.
Yeah.
You could have put Nathan Peterman back there. It didn't matter. We were going to win that game. Why? Because Jonathan Taylor went off.
Yeah.
Now, because you have Matt Ryan, it's easier to, hey, Jonathan Taylor, you don't maybe have to run as much. Let's a couple throws here and there, blah, blah. At this point in his career, he's definitely a game manager. And hey, that's cool. But that's why I feel strongly about it. Go ahead, Sean.
Can I give you one more point? Not to take any more time, but that's another thing I meant to mention. I just hope that they're not too heavy on Taylor all year.
Yeah, agreed.
Because the problem is he can come out and become like Zeke, just get the ball, so many times during the year, and by 3-4 years down the line he's shot. So I just hope actually for his sake, I hope he doesn't rush the ball as nearly much as you would like to give him the ball. You don't want to bang his body up too bad.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Jake, you've been sitting there patiently waiting. Are you going to grill me on my take like Sean? Well, I guess Sean didn't necessarily grill me. He agreed that they'll have a good season, but just didn't, agreed that we could make a Super Bowl, which I can understand. But please, Jake, let the people know what you feel on my take of the Indianapolis Colts making it to the Super Bowl.
All right, so I've been drinking this Indianapolis Colts Kool-Aid since they got Matt Ryan.
Yes.
All right. And I have some stats of my own, some points of my own to help with Matt. One thing that he did point out, 5th in deep accuracy last year. That's something that's very people don't see, or is very underrated, especially with the receiving core Matt Ryan had last year. There was no wide receiver A top guy out there. He was slinging the ball to a rookie in Kyle Pitts who took a slow start, and Russell Gage was probably his best wide receiver. And you were still number 5 in deep accuracy. You also threw for almost 4,000 yards. You also had 20 touchdowns in that offense that was also struggling. In a tough division too, I should add. So a couple things I wanted to add, and I have a hot take. We'll do the hot take last because I want to see Sean's face on that. But a team that comes to mind that I want to talk about is the Denver Broncos. The last season they had Peyton Manning. They won not because of Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
They won because of a defense, right? Peyton Manning threw 9 touchdowns and 17 picks.
Yeah.
He threw for 2,000 yards, and yet they ran away with the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan has never had a defense this good.
Think of that.
Matt Ryan has never had a running back like Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan doesn't need to throw the ball 30 to 40 times. You're asking a guy to get you the first down when the running back can't, and get you the touchdown passes in those tight windows that a guy that Carson Wentz couldn't get. You also have Nyheim Hines, a passing running back that's going to get more touches this year that Matt Ryan also hasn't had. There's a lot of things on this team Matt Ryan has never had, but yet Matt Ryan has still consistently been a professional quarterback. I say that with no judgment or trying to ridicule Matt Ryan. He did win an MVP. But Matt Ryan is that professional quarterback that's going to come in and win you games. Eli Manning was not a guy that was passing for 6,000, 7,000 yards, even though no one does. But you know what I'm saying? Like, to pass that much. And yet he got 2.
He wasn't a gunslinger.
Yeah, he wasn't a gunslinger. But when it came down to it, he was a professional quarterback in the postseason, winning you those games, throwing those tight window passes. Now, my hot take. Michael Pittman Jr. will be the Julio Jones for Matt Ryan this year. Alec Pierce will be Roddy White for Matt Ryan. Those two guys will have ridiculous numbers this year, and do not be shocked. Do not be shocked when both of these guys have over, and I'm going to say this right here. We can go back to this video. We can go back to the first episode of this podcast. Michael Pittman Jr. and Alec Pierce will both have over 1,200 receiving yards this year.
Well, you were definitely right about Sean's face. The guy almost fell out of his seat for you guys watching on YouTube. Before you go, Sean, you would think Jake was the Colts fan, all right? I'm the one wearing the jersey. I didn't even say anything that bold, although I love it. I do think MPJ is going to take a big, step forward as the wide receiver 1 in this season. Also, too, I mean, Matt Ryan, before Calvin Ridley started gambling on his team, he's had a number 1 guy that he just had that connection with every single time, whether it was Roddy White, then, insert, Julio Jones, then insert Calvin Ridley. So it is not necessarily crazy to think that MPJ will be that guy. I'm not saying he's going to put up Julio-type prime numbers. I'm also not going to say that Alec Pierce is going to put up Roddy White-type numbers. Again, people listening, I'm not being biased as to that. But also, too, it wouldn't be shocking from an MPJ-type standard if he did put up some gaudy-type numbers with Matt Ryan being his quarterback, just because, again, the offense is predicated off of just be accurate. You don't got to be gunslinger, and that's what Wentz wanted to do. I want to throw deep. That's not who the Colts are. This isn't Peyton Manning, back in the glory years. But, Sean, now that you've come back from falling off your chair, please let us know, man, what are your thoughts right now after Jake just hit you with the 1-2 combo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking for Ashton Kutcher because I thought I was getting punked right here.
You thought he was getting punked.
Insane, man. Ashton, where are you? This is crazy, man. To say something like that. And the thing that got me the most, actually, it's not the most, but when you said you went down to your stats, everybody loves stats, about the Denver Broncos, there's no team when Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with that Denver Broncos team, that defense, there's no team in the NFL that has that defense. That defense was phenomenal. Yeah, Colts got a good defense, but that defense was phenomenal. And then you said, can you repeat what you said? You said Michael Pittman Jr. is going to have who? What numbers?
He's going to be as great, if not better, than Julio's best season with Matt Ryan. He's going to have
Julio Jones. Please don't stop unfollowing us, Julio.
He's going to have over 1,200 yards, and he's going to do something that Julio couldn't. He's going to find the end zone.
Oh, no, no, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I got one thing to say. Ashton, where are you, Ashton? Come on, man. That's insane, dude.
Oh, my goodness.
Man. That's insane. That hurts, dude. That hurt.
Football season is around the corner. when Jake is putting out the bold takes. But hey, we love it here on Regular Guys Podcast.
I'm on my Skip
let us know
Bayless. I
down
told
below.
y'all.
Yeah, we all remember Jake's take last year of the Chiefs.
Oh,
I said that
yeah.
Andy Reid was going to be. Yeah, we're still shaking our heads at that one. I mean, Sean saw it.
I
He
saw the
said
clip
that
and
they
I
weren't
was
going to make
crying.
the
I was like, what?
playoffs. Yeah, right. They weren't going to make the playoffs. Andy Reid was going to get fired. Obviously, none of that happened. But if you can't get spicy every now and then why
Exactly.
talk sports with the guys?
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
So again, you guys let us know down in the comments. Do you agree with our picks? I would say if I have the Colts going to the Super Bowl, who would I have them beating? I'm going to say this from a standpoint because he is a part of our team. I'm going to say we beat the Vikings. And that's just a little shot at PJ, who's going to be watching this show also. So yeah, that's all. I'll leave it at that. But you guys let us know who you feel is for sure going to win the Super Bowl in your opinion. Let us know if you agree with us. And also let us know who you feel your Super Bowl matchups are going to be. But hey, just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that's our topic, our main topic of discussion. We had a tremendous time doing this. We're just so glad to be back. Just again, some things that you have to look forward to going forward from a show perspective. Next week, we're going to look for fantasy lovers all around the world. We're going to look to do some fantasy stuff, do a mock draft with a couple of friends of ours. And I'll give you some fantasy advice as to who you should be drafting, who you should be fading, some sleepers, maybe some rookies that you should start favoring a little bit of, because we know, again, fantasy is around the corner, or fantasy drafts, if you haven't already drafted, you're going to be looking to do so. I know I have a couple of drafts coming up that I'm preparing for. So we're going to look to do that. And then we all remember Fez from last year and his bold takes. Literally the episode right before the season. All of us here are going to get spicy and we're going to come up with some bold takes of our own because, again, why not? If you can't have bold takes and have fun, then why have a show like this? People, why have a show?
Man.
Jake's already started us off with the takes, and I'm not sure Sean can even handle it. Just wait till that show, and you might see Sean actually pass out here. No, Ashton is not coming to save you, Sean. I know you wish he was. You'd feel a lot better. But again, just a little bit of, oh, wait, hold on. I almost forgot. Again, please, regulars, it's been a while. We're going to go into the hype section. Now, again, as you guys recall, hype is something that we're looking forward to. It could literally be anything. You're reading a book that you love. You can't wait to get to the next page. Hey, that's cool. We're not here to knock it. So going forward, we're going to look to put it on our page. Hopefully you guys can share something that you're hyped for. And again, once you interact with us, we'll make sure to read them on the show next week when we record next week's episode. Sean, let the people know something that you're hyped for, man.
Not to stick with the whole podcast thing, I'm just really hyped to be with you guys, man, and starting this thing up with you guys again. I'm glad to be part of it. And I'm just real hyped about this. I'm real hyped about football season and just get to hang out and talk with the guys, man. That's what right now, that's what I'm most hyped about. So, I appreciate you guys, and let's have a fun year, man.
Yeah, man, same. I'd say something that I'm hyped for. Football season is weeks away. You got college football starting up here shortly. Madden 23 just dropped a couple of days ago. NFL is coming back in a couple of weeks. It is a great time of year. And then to top it off, Regular Guys Podcast is back, my people. It is back. And hopefully better than ever. That's our goal, obviously, is to be better than ever. But that's something I'm hyped for. Jake, let us know what you're hyped for, man.
Man, just a little bit of everything, like what Sean said, what Matt said. Getting this podcast back is just awesome. Like, I was texting Matt months ago, hey, we're going to try to get this going. Things just weren't working out. But, you know, we figured it out. We got Sean on here. We got PJ, who's still on the team. And we also got Wes. He's a guy that hopefully we can get on the show so you guys can meet. He's helping us tremendously just with everything, with the reels on TikTok, just making sure we have other platforms for you guys. It's just exciting, man. But one thing I do have to say is, I'm saying it now because Matt's in the same leagues together with me. And Sean knows because I joined his league last year and I just wiped the floor with the league, right? And I won everything. So I'm going to tell Matt and I'm going to tell everybody else if our friends are watching. I'm going to win both our leagues, okay? I am so prepared.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end the episode right there. I'm sorry. Ashton, you must be here also. I don't know what this guy's talking about.
I am so prepared.
Shannon,
I have
Skip, Jake, just I don't know what we got.
Jake Bayless over here, man.
Happy.
Jake Bayless.
Right. Jake Bayless, nickname.
Get out of
That's
here.
what it is.
I'm going to bring the mic close. I just need one thing to happen in our keeper league, and I will win it all.
Tell us.
If Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, I will win my league with Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler as my running backs.
Okay.
Are you done with your hype yet, man? This is
man. I'm gonna win it all.
I'm on that Sean.
This ain't bragging. Be a little humble, man. Goodness gracious.
Nah. But no, for our guys, just super happy with everything. I'll let Matt close us out and then finish it there.
Yeah, man. Again, this is something we're just happy for. And again, we look forward to growing this. The chemistry is already great, as you can feel it coming from your headphones as you listen to this, as you can feel it coming from the screen if you're watching us. Can't wait. Again, we're just some things that we have cooking up. Again, we got some guys in the background that, although you may not necessarily see them all the time, like Jake mentioned, PJ still involved with the show. We also have Wes, who's we hope can definitely take our reels to the next level, and based off the stuff that I've seen from him, that we are super confident that he can help us do so. And we are looking to potentially do 2 shows, an NFL show and an NBA show. So you guys let us know. Hey, if you are interested in that, let us know down in the comments, man. We're definitely, again, we're looking forward to reading all that. And again, we're just super, super excited to be sitting here talking. Regular Guys Podcast is back, people. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying this. It is back. We are happy it's back. You're happy it's back. Sean, any closing statements from you, my good sir?
Nah, like and subscribe, guys. We're gonna come out with bangers every week, man. Just like and subscribe, and we won't disappoint, guys. Come on now.
Yes, sir. All right, Jake, hit us with your closing statements and the outro.
All right, guys. Like Sean said, like, subscribe, get your friends on, get your families on, coworkers, whoever likes listening to sports. We're just here to have a good time. Hope y'all enjoy. We'll be back next week. Peace.
You are now listening to
Regular Guys Podcast.